Okay, and we are live in this match, which is basically the decider. Let's just put a banner up so we can see what the score banner was. White in an absolute must-win situation just to draw the match, and then they will have a decider later tonight at 9 o'clock in a very interesting group pawn in game. White is a pawn up and playing for a win. Black is trying to draw, which will give them an absolute easy equality in the 5 points in the match. And it would seem like White may just have the upper hand here. Can he push this through? My vote is probably yes, because now with Rook H5, Rook takes pawn, and it almost seems to be game over. White is in an absolute hurry, doesn't even go to eliminate the counterplay. He just tries and wins immediately. And it actually looks like he maybe this looks like it's going. Oh, just as we said, but okay, why can't just play c6 or a6 and then queen either the a or c pawn. The h pawn is not going very far. If worse, and he does play c6. Worst case scenario, he can play rook d1, e1, and just sack the rook for h pawn. This is over. I don't see Black ever coming in. Does he play? Yes, he has to play rook here. And they are playing at lightning speed. And the game is over as we speak. Well, that was not much, but this means we are set up for a great decider, which I believe is at 9 o'clock tonight between these two teams, and that will be an absolute thriller to see who will win. Then both teams have got on the top half of the league and are gunning and trying to go they are still in for the medals. Please, in 3 minutes' time, we are going to start with the game between our feature game for the night, which is the game of Smirlin versus A Control, which is the precursor to the decider between the teams. The opposition and Better Call Saul, they both got 4 points. They will be playing, they are supposed to start at 6 o'clock, which is in 3 minutes' time. If you are on the stream, come and say hello so that we can, and then we can see and tell me which player you will be rooting for. Let's just look at this game. Maybe if we want to ask these people, maybe I can ask the winner of the game if he wants to come and for post-game interview. Let's just see if he will be willing. And I will tell in the chat also that we will. Want to come. And maybe he will come and then we will be able to hear his thoughts on this match. A nice Okapansky variation in the Sicilian where he actually castled queenside, which is somewhat unusual in this variation, and then went for the kingside attack. Let's see if he got. I have not got any reply from him yet. We will see if he will come in. Well, if he's not going to cut, he's okay. Okay, he says he's going to come. I'm going to send him a link, and then he can come. What did I do now? Oops. We're back in, and just need to do this and go back to the game. If I've got the link, I will get to the game. I just want to, no man. Okay, we're back in the game and we're waiting for him to come. He said he will be coming in. Okay. It's 3. Okay, I'm just waiting for him to join. He says we must just give him 2 minutes and then he will be on stream to come for the interview, and then we will see what his thoughts were. Looks like it was a pretty good game that he was winning from the start, and what seems to have been a very clear conversion. He still hasn't joined the stream. Meantime, our feature match for tonight seems to be ready to come, ready to start, but I am still waiting for him. He said I must give him 2 minutes, but he hasn't responded. Oh, he is. He's ready.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you out and clearly. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you clearly as well. Welcome to the stream, and congratulations on quite a good match, in a win in a very important game for your team.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a nice game indeed.
And did you prepare the Nardolf? Did you expect it?
No, at all. Actually, I expected the French defense because I looked at his games beforehand and he played the French. So I actually expected the French defense.
Okay, and then but in the Nardolf, you then ended up playing the Okopansky variation, the Bishop E2 or Move 2. Is that what you normally play?
Yeah, it's what I normally, because I feel like it's the most solid line. And there's not too much of, like, the Nardolf gets very complicated very fast. And for instance, if I play Bishop C4, I always feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, the old, what they call the Fischer variation. Yes, that becomes very sharp. And then he continued to very classical. You played here. The normal move here I thought was Bishop E6. I don't know why he castled. Did you consider what is taught? We are taught is there a refutation for this move order?
So here, actually, I didn't know too much about this move. I knew this is possible, but I felt more like a let's go solid approach. And if everything is set up, then I will crush my opponent. Because long term, I always feel like that because of the d5 square and the backward pawn on d6, I always have an advantage. And the knight off, especially because normally the knight off people go all out, and if I'm just solid, I'm just winning in the end game. This is like my normal approach to the knight off.
Oh, but then you went and you castled queenside, which I'm going to ask you about just now.
Yes, so actually I was thinking in a long time if I castle queenside or kingside, but then I thought, okay, let's go for it.
So, what you mean, what you're going to say to me just now when I ask you about the queenside casting is you actually changed your plan from going to a slow approach, going for the in game, and then you just said, well, let's just go all out for the win.
Yeah, exactly.
And it worked out for you. And this, look, let's face it, this was a must-win situation for you. If you had drawn, then there wasn't much to play for your team in the last game tonight.
Yeah, actually, this is what I always do. I don't check too much the scores of my teammates, so I don't get under pressure. Because normally I play always on Sunday or Saturday, so I'm always one of the last. So I always have one of the last games. So actually, I didn't know that it's very important for my team, but I'm glad I managed to win anyways.
Okay, so what you say is you didn't know that this was a must-win situation.
Yes.
Okay, that helps. But on the other hand, if you knew that it wasn't that you could draw, then it would have taken the pressure off.
Yeah, to be honest, like in these long games, especially in like chess 45 and at the elo I'm playing right now, I always feel like even if you go for a drawish line, it doesn't really matter. Like at some point one person makes a mistake, especially in the end game, it happens so easily. So if you have like a little bit of an advantage, it's always good enough, because then it's most likely the other opponent makes a mistake.
It's the story of the person who makes the second last mistake that you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I had a very quick look. I came late to the game, and I had a very quick look, and I see the computer shows this is a mistake because the normal move I know is castling. Well, if we don't go for the g4, castling, and then bishop here, and then queen here, and then we see a lot of games. I remember Cardboard versus Portionist, 1960s. There's a whole lot of games in this situation. Were you aware of that?
So I knew that castling is the normal move if you don't play g4, but I thought I will let my opponent not know what my plans are intended. So actually I planned to go kingside castling, then I thought, okay, it doesn't really matter if I castle first king and then go with the
Queen d2.
Yes, but I'm not. Why doesn't he like the computer queen d2?
Simply, I think the computer doesn't like it because he prefers g4. Looking at it from my point of view, from what I know, I don't think queen d2 is such. It's a slight inaccuracy, according to me, because the normal move is g4. There is, of course, another moves in the theoretical moves. Even knight d5 is playable. Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. Because you can't take because of the old trick of bishop b6 and knight c7. So I can't think that queen d2 is so bad. Okay, and then the game progressed. Okay, like he does play bishop e6. So if you do castle, you can transpose, but you then decide you're going for it, and there you go for it. And we see how you win your pawn. And I must say, thereafter, I know there's a few places where the computer doesn't like it, but if you look at the graph, you just built up an advantage and just kept it and held it and pushed it through.
Yeah, it was. So here, I actually never expected he would take the h4 pawn. It was very surprising, because at least, like in my calculation, I was always like, at least I get the t6 pawn. And I calculated a lot that maybe if you go back a move, like a couple of moves, when he takes bishop h4, that I, instead of taking, that I play g4.
Yes.
Yes. And then if I swoop my queen to h2, that I have maybe a strong attack, but I couldn't find a decisive one. Because in these lines, if he plays bishop f6, he always holds, and I'm just sacrificing pieces. Yeah, because like even if he goes then h6, and I sacrifice my bishop to attack, the h8 square is always covered, and I cannot get through.
Because you can just cover it by playing g6 at the right time. I see. But in the end, your first plan, the plan of having a good endgame, actually just panned out, and you had a very nice rook and pawn endgame, and that's what made you win.
Yeah, it was nice indeed. I think after here, also after he took, I felt very comfortable. It was easy for me to play a trade like this.
I beg your pardon, you were saying?
Subscribe!
Sorry, it's my daughter coming in the room and shouting.
Yeah, no problem. So after the trade happens, I felt very comfortable. Like I always felt like now it's my game to lose. So I have the advantage, and I can grind him down. Especially, I always feel like I can activate my king, and my other pieces are also already activated. I get the D file. Yeah, it's just a matter if I'm able to finish it.
Yeah, and okay, I know the computer doesn't like some of it, but I mean, he actually makes it easy for you and just trades off like a lot of the pieces for you. Did you at any stage worry about the fact that you might end up in a bishop of opposite colors endgame?
Actually, because he had his pawn on a5. After this, I always felt like even if we trade everything off and we have opposite color bishops, I get this pawn, and then 3 against 1 should be able to win.
I see. So you thought even in the opposite colored bishop endgame you had the upper hand. That is fantastic. I must say again, congratulations. I want to actually go back to what is supposed to be my scheduled featured game, which is in the other match. Are you going to watch your teammate play later tonight?
Yeah, probably. What time is the game?
I believe the game for your teammate the deciding game starts at 9. Well, for me it's 9 o'clock. I think it is 1700 UCT. Let me just completely make sure.
In 50 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Well, it says. Let me just make sure I'm. Oh no, it is 9. It's not. No, it's not. It's 1900 UCT. Okay.
Okay. So
okay,
8 o'clock my time.
Yes, I think so. I don't know what your time is. Okay. So you say you're going to sit, and thank you for coming on the stream, and thank you for the interview, and best of luck for the rest of the tournament. But actually, before I do that, seeing that my daughter has deserted me, she's supposed to come as a co-commentator. Can I steal you for a few minutes and see if and can we go over to the other game?
Yeah,
then
sure.
Maybe you could. Okay, I'm gonna go over to what is supposed to be my feature game, and I'm just going to change the banner. This is
so interesting. I played against this opponent yesterday against Black in the Lone Wolf.
Yes. And how did it go?
Yeah, unfortunately I lost, but I prepared an interesting line, and he went for a new opening. So against me, and he normally goes, which move start? Yeah, against e4, he normally starts with d6, g6.
Yeah, and today I see, yeah, it looked like the French, and then he went over to, the Owen's defense. I think he's just trying to avoid preparation.
Yeah, because I prepared against him. So
okay.
he knew maybe just to change it up.
Yeah, that looks like he did the same in this game as well. So, so in this position, I think he's just played bishop yeah, putting pressure on e4. So I would think it's either this or that.
I agree.
Which one would you go for?
So I will a tough call. Like somehow I always feel like f6 is such a f3 is such an ugly move to play.
Well,
So
the thing is, in the Owens, we often see this f5 break if you, depending on how you defend it. Especially, I think, if you play bishop d3, the immediate question will be: is f5 a move, and whether it falls victim to the move of queen h4 5 check.
yeah, and if you play f3, you can't play queen h5 check.
Yes, that's correct. You cannot.
So
That is indeed the.
yes.
I'm listening. You can go on.
No, so that's why I think I would play then bishop d3, and if he plays f5, can you?
Yes, okay,
Should it
yes.
be enough?
You want to give up the g2 pawn?
Yeah, if he takes, I'm just calculating if I have enough attack. Probably not. Probably just f3 looks very solid. Probably the best option.
f3 with the idea of bishop here, knight here, queen here, and castle queenside. That is probably. I see that he in the stream mentions queen g4 right now, which is something we have not looked at.
Interesting move.
It's a very interesting move because now f5 falls, I think, to queen takes g7.
With a nasty attack as well. This looks like
Very
game
nasty
over when
attack.
he plays f5 after
Yeah,
queen g4.
Yeah, so I don't think he will. The question is does he have something like queen f6 then? This is very. I'm going to look in the database if this is a known position, because I don't know. It is known in the database, and f3 is by far the favorite master game. So what we had in mind was definitely not so far off. But the queen g4, then there must be some kind of reason why not. I don't like g6.
Yeah, g6 looks it's just an ugly move to make.
Yes, exactly. g6 can why not just play his knight out and castle? Well, let's just look at queen g4. Yes.
What about just knight f6 after queen g4? And if he takes, you can you have the rook.
Take, then the rook.
Yeah, take rook. Where do you go? You go here. Then you can at least win the pawn on e4. Maybe with the knight.
Okay, no, yes, because but then if you take, the knight has to come back, eh?
Then maybe with the
Okay, but then
that's
again,
very complicated.
Then g2 is hanging.
G2 hangs as well, and even if you don't come back, the knight is hanging then. So maybe just taking with the bishop should be fine.
You mean? That's actually that's better. That's a very good idea. So what we're saying is queen g4, knight. Oh, let's just make colors right. Yeah. Queen g4, knight, f6, queen takes, rook takes, queen bishop takes. Defending here and getting a pawn. In fact, attacking here. Yes, that looks very good for black. So I think that is the exact reason why f3 should be played in this position, and why we see the grandmasters play this position.
Actually, I think I saw, like, if you check the database, the Leech's database, I think there were like some games with queen g4.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
12
Queen
games.
and Queen G4 did well. We looked at this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we looked at, and now, but I can't believe. I think that black is. Oh, I can't think that black is so bad here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why can't we just take? And then probably it thinks that black has got compensation. I
Yeah,
don't like the idea. I
yeah,
don't like that move. Yeah.
yeah, the king is maybe vulnerable enough. Like if you can play bishop g5, I'm not sure. Like, so you have bishop g5. Then, yeah, I think the reason is maybe why people lose in this. Well, it's just one. The could have made anything. But maybe it's the king is still in the center, and you can activate your pieces as white quick enough to make so black gets into trouble.
Your position does look a bit loose, but I'm a materialist. I'm a pawn grabber, and I like the. But we can get some pieces off. Especially, look, we're giving up the white squared bishop, so we don't have a 2b. Oh, my white also his bishop is off. So I'm a pawn grabber there. I would like to see such an exciting game, especially in something which is almost a decider. It's a prelude to a decider of in this tournament for this match. And these two teams are on top of a leaderboard. They are both in the top half of the leaderboard. I think neither of them has. Well, I know neither of them has lost so far. They are specifically they are second and fifth on the leaderboard, but unbeaten both of them. So whoever wins goes and will be playing for top spot in the leaderboard next week. So it's a very important game.
And it's indeed. So,
okay, F3 played. So he didn't go for the Queen G4 line. I don't know. So he ended up saying going for F3, and I see in the chat he expresses he's disappointed with himself. So now we really need to consider moves. I don't think this is anything. This must be scary.
But even if he plays f5, can't we just take and bishop d3 with the idea if he, with queen e2 then and trap some pieces looks fine, no?
Yes, because the point is that if you try and defend it with something like g6, you make this weak, and your dark squared bishop is on the wrong side.
It is indeed.
So
yeah, actually, I played a little bit around with the own defense, and somehow I feel just worse. So it's not my cup of tea, I guess.
From the black side?
Yes.
Well, I think the reason for that is maybe because the own defense might not be the best opening.
Yeah, well, this is probably why we don't see the highest level anymore.
Yes, it is a surprise weapon, which in this game it has definitely been used as a surprise weapon. And I don't know what to call him. I'm going to call him AA Control, the black player. He's definitely trying to just unbalance stuff. Tell me, yes, you said you don't check the scores, but what if you did check the scores and you know it's 4-all, and you know your game will determine whether the next game is going to decide whether it's going to put your opponent in a must-win situation or not? Will you be more cautious or more aggressive if you win this game?
Actually, I think I would go to the approach what I always try to do, like at first stabilize and then just play the position and try to win over time. I think this is always like sometimes I like to drop the hammer, but I think as soon as you get influenced by the pressure that it's like a must-win situation, or if you lose, your team loses, I think then it's always already like you lost some psychological advantage already.
Okay, so you worried, you say that the emotional problem makes it.
It makes it a little
You,
bit more difficult, no? Because then
yeah,
maybe I shouldn't go this way because it looks too double-edged, but actually this is the right move, no?
yeah. Okay, so you rather stay objective and not know and just play. That's probably
Yeah.
a healthy approach, but some people may argue that you may become play a bit too safe in a situation where being a bit more aggressive could have ended up um, just getting through for your team. I see that uh, in the in the chat, AI Control considers F5, but he says I wouldn't dare. He does admit that he's unprepared, but he says he's not going to try it. I just want to say hello to someone here in the chat. Um,
So
okay,
if he doesn't
so
want to play f5, what is his plan then?
Then I think he's probably going to play something like d5 or knight f6.
Yeah, I think so too. Knight f6 looks very reasonable.
Or maybe d5. Actually, I don't mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't mind
Like,
d5 at all.
so I'm just thinking, like, after d5, I play e5. You play c5, or what
I
is the
I
plan?
think I would first play knight e7. So I've got
I
the
see.
option of castling if I want to. I've got the option of knight f5 because you've given me the f5 square. I've got the option of f5 whenever I need it. c5 I think is a little bit too committal at the moment because it blocks my bishop in, and maybe I want my bishop to go back at some stage.
No, I mean after d5, e5. But then the idea
Yes,
maybe c5, but
yes, in
I'm
the
not sure.
long run maybe. Maybe in the long run, but I think immediately knight e7
Yeah, it
because
looks nice.
it gives me this option and it gives me this option.
Yeah, maybe this is the idea. Maybe first knight e7 and afterwards d5 or even
Well,
f5.
I would rather first d5 because if he doesn't play e5, I would then maybe knight f6 becomes the move. So before committing my knight to e6, I think this pawn, our d pawn, is always going to d5. Our knight is not always going to e7 or f6, but our pawn is always going to d5. So I'm playing that first.
Makes sense.
Yeah. c5 I would like, but I'm going to want to prepare it more. So I would go with d5 here.
Yeah, it looks very logical as well.
Well, I'm telling you, the people watching the game and the stream is definitely getting what they were hoping to get. This is a complicated fighting game, which is not going to be symmetrical. This is not going to
That's for
be.
sure.
This is not a symmetrical. Let's trade everything off and agree a draw game. That's not what we're going to see here.
Yeah, I think it
So
is. It will be a hard fight.
yeah, I actually know both of these players because the white player and I was in a team last season, and the black player I played also against him last season. Although I think I did win, I may be wrong, but I think I did beat him in the season. But so I do know both of them, and I have spoken to the blacks player. So I'm hoping for those of you who are watching the stream, I'm hoping to get them also after the game to come and tell us what they've thought and tell us why this opening. I mean, it is. Uh, but oh, sorry. While I was talking, it did occur to me the only downside of a possible d5 is bishop b5 moved in. I don't think so, but is it?
Yeah, I was also thinking about b5, but somehow, okay, what is black gonna do?
Probably just play knight d7,
Mm,
preparing, blocking the pin and the check, and later on supporting the c5 break, which we are looking for. And then we can look at playing knight f6 and castle king side.
and especially like so I think the white bishop, the light square bishop is a real issue. Like after you play b5, so let's say d5, b5, as bishop b5, and you play knight d7, like a6 is gonna come. Where you put your bishop? It seems pretty.
I mean this piece.
No, your bishop, the white light square. So after, let's say you play d5, so black plays
Yeah.
d5,
Yes.
bishop b5.
Bishop. You mean e5? Just e5?
No, bishop b5.
Oh, bishop b5. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's say he blocks exactly, and then it's like, what are you going to do with your bishop? Like a6 is coming, and I don't know. It's like he is allowed to expand a little bit on the queen side, and there's no stable. Oh, he takes.
He takes immediately. He clarifies the situation and instant retake. But this now means that our queen side structure has been clarified. And what is that? I mean, why did he have? He didn't have to take immediately. Why did he do that? Why would he do that? I cannot see what he gained by that. Now with white, yes.
Yeah, please go on.
With white, I would just consider getting this and opening up the b file. I think my play is now very obvious. I'm going to play this, castle here, queen here, push here. And it's a pleasant, straightforward, pleasant position for white.
Yeah, I also feel very comfortable with the white position, especially like the whole game plan of the Owens defense is to pressure the light squares and especially e5. And now somehow I don't feel any pressure anymore as white.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I think that was it was not, and it was not even false. I mean, he could play almost anything. It's a very, very strange decision. Like it is also said in the chat, a strange decision was something which I did not expect, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And especially now he did this move, fought for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and now he thinks again. So
exactly, he thinks 5 minutes, he plays a move, he gets the absolute obvious response, and then he thinks again for 5 minutes. He's the one who picked the Owens defense, so it makes it even more strange. But that having been said, I still think d5 is probably where I'm going to now. Or was he? Let's just see what he said. He didn't want to take. Okay, he didn't want to play f5 earlier because that pawn takes, knight h6, and pawn takes. Yeah, because it ends up being a pawn sacrifice. This decision of his does not make it better. Doesn't make it easier. I really only think that the only move that makes sense to me right now is d5. Keeping the pressure on e4 and stopping the eventual c4 to come.
Yeah, I think also d5 is now a must. Like every, yeah, I'm not even sure. Like, yeah, I think d5 is a must. You have to play d5 now. Like you could delay it, but if you delay it, I would play immediately c4 now.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're going to delay it, in favor of what will you delay it?
Yeah, this is the next question.
Yes. Okay. And if he now pushes e5, then I don't know. Then this might become something because c4 is slightly more difficult. I don't know.
And this is actually what I thought immediately after you play d4, e5, that c4 is very uncomfortable for black. Especially with the pawn already on f3. This is like, it's perfect in our setup, the f3 pawn.
Yeah. But why did you say c4 is uncomfortable for black?
No, not uncomfortable, but the c4 is like beforehand with the bishop on, I think without taking, it would be much better for black. Like not like this, like it's uncomfortable in the sense of that the other option without trading on c3 would be much more pressure on the
e4.
white pieces. Yes, like
Yes.
especially now you have e5 and the follow-up with c4, and it's just nice and easy to play. It's not like lost or anything for black, I think, right now, but it's just a slight advantage, right?
I agree. That's the one thing that comes to mind immediately. Is it's very easy to play for white. I mean, I'm playing bishop d3 all day long here, and not even thinking twice about it. It seems very easy to play. And knight is coming probably here, and castle. He's got the two bishops. He's got nice space, slight structural disadvantage, but it's nothing really. Okay. You're welcome to stay if you want, but my daughter was supposed to be my guest, and she's been jumping up and down as you saw. I'm gonna, yeah.
It's totally fine. Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
And thank you, and we'll see if we are still on air when your last game is, and then you can come and visit the stream again.
Yeah, I will, if I'm there, I will contact you for sure. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Stay well, hey?
Okay. Okay.
Bye.
Then also bye to everyone who is watching. Thank you very much for having me.
Bye. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get Megan to come and join us. She is one of my students. She is a player here, a regional player here in our area. I'm just going to let her know. And we're going to talk also about her tournament from yesterday. We played the regional tournaments. If you bear with me, and okay, let's just quickly discuss. As we said, white immediately plays bishop d3. The white play is so easy. He just plays A, B, C chess, and black is the one that's definitely struggling to find good moves. Bear with me for a moment. I'm just going to go set up my next guest, who I see is not in the lobby waiting. She was earlier. Just hold a moment. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Megan? Okay, good. Okay, hello everybody again. Thank you for waiting. Okay, we joined very soon by Megan, who will be my co-commentator for the rest of this game until we get in the post-game interview of the winner. I'm just waiting for her to join. Getting back to the game, as we said, bishop d3 was played, a nice spatial advantage. This is the kind of positions where the computers will give a very nice advantage for white, probably something like +1 something. And we are joined in the stream by Megan. She's my daughter and one of my students. Welcome
And
to the
I'm
stream, Megan.
eating.
Okay, and she's eating. Sorry, she was supposed to come on earlier, but then my previous guest stayed too long, and then she started eating. She's a regional player for the under 14 team here in our area. She played yesterday for our region and did so well,
And
Megan.
I won! And I
She
won that
won
tournament.
She won all her games. She had a performance rating of 1800, which is reasonably good, especially if her actual rating is only 1000. So she played 800 points above her above her rating. Now, Megan, what do you think of this position? This is so, in
Sorry,
fact,
I'm looking at the chat.
Okay, you must look at the chat as well, but you must just look at the board for me. And then, what do you think of this position for white? This is a kind of position that you would like for white, is it not?
Maybe. I want my king castle and my knight out.
Yes, but
and I hate the double pawns.
Yeah, that's true. But the two bishops, but as you say, the knight out and castle, it's easy to play for white. And then, what if you were black? What would you do for black here?
Give me a sec. Castle. Immediate castle.
Immediate castle. And how do you get
no,
all your other
I won't think twice. I won't think twice.
And how do you plan to get your... Can you see and do you agree with me that it's a lot more difficult for black to get these pieces out in white?
Kind of.
Yeah. I see in the chat
the player...
Okay. Now, he did castle as we expected. The player with white pieces in the chat said that if black castles, he's going to consider playing g4. And I see the black player has castled and immediately asked in the chat, he thinks he's castled into it. Would you be afraid of something like g4 right now if you were black?
G4? No, really? Maybe? I'll be mostly thinking of pushing my pawn to attack.
Yes,
I said I can't see the name.
Yeah, okay, but you're actually right. Attack in the flank is the answer to the attack in the center. You are right. We would try and push our pawns. If he does play g4, the answer should be d5 or c5. You are absolutely correct.
I was more thinking of another one.
What were you thinking? Which one were you thinking?
The rook behind the rook, in front of the rook for black.
Oh, you want to play for f5? You pushing pawns in front of your king. What did we say about that?
Ask in the chat. What did we say? What do we say about that?
I think, yeah, let's ask the chat if I think if g4 now, if f5 is a good move.
I'm waiting to see any notifications here on the side.
Takes, but are you not? Oh, but the point, yeah.
Gets rid of his good B. It gets rid of good B.
Oh, you mean this bishop? It gets rid of that bishop. Okay, he doesn't go for it. He does go.
I wanted to see what happened.
But don't you think, Megan, if white were to play g4 here, where's he gonna castle?
Je ne sais pas.
Exactly. I also don't know. I don't know where he's gonna castle. Yes, what does the chat say?
Give me a sec. My phone's laggy. F5 looks spicy but risky.
Yeah. Thank you, Megan. You must tell me who says his comment.
Cannot pronounce their name. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that does look spicy. But
brother. Or
Okay,
however.
welcome to the stream. Yeah, I think it is a bit spicy, a bit too spicy for our taste. What I haven't told you, Megan, is that 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 we are playing team matches, and this game, and one game it was be starting in 2 hours time or 1 hour's time of the two last games of the match. So and it's all even. So it depends who wins in this game.
This
The
one.
other one. Now, the one that wins here, the other team will be in a must-win situation. So it is getting the pressure of this result is quite high.
Ooh, peer pressure, peer pressure.
Yeah. So you can't take they're not going to take such big risks. Mm. Yes, and I see the
Right,
white
I'm
player
trying to
in
find
the
the
chat
chat.
says, okay, you keep your eye on that chat. I'm keeping my eye on the chat in the game. And in the game, the player of the white pieces says that he says he'd rather do easy moves and build up some pressure before he starts going ballistic. I certainly
Is he
agree with that.
watching?
No, he's not watching us. He's not allowed to watch us. That would be cheating, huh? We don't allow cheating.
We don't know.
No, he will be caught if he
I play
cheats.
like a computer, so
Yeah, we all think we play like computers, but we all make
no,
mistakes.
I actually do.
Okay.
You can
Yes,
look in my previous, some of my games. A
okay.
lot from
Chat,
long ago last year.
Chat, if you this extra ego is after winning all her games yesterday and winning her board, so she's feeling a bit positive after what I must admit was a very good tournament yesterday. So with Black right now, I've been
say that now.
okay, Megan. For Black right now, I'm really thinking. I see Black is thinking your F5. Looks like you are channeling this player. He's also thinking F5.
What do you mean? What's going on in your chat?
No, but the players are, but he does not. He plays D6 first. Oh, I see. What he's trying to do is he's trying to say if he plays F5, he does not want white to play F6. He wants to stop F6 first, with maybe moves also like 97, preparing it properly. So having regard to what White said, I'm expecting a castle and then a 97, Queen D2, and then F5, and then we're going to see fireworks in this game. Are we looking forward to seeing fireworks?
Meh.
I'm just, Megan, I see that David and other people are saying hello in the stream. You must say hello to everybody. If I talk in the stream, you must talk to them.
I did not see.
Yeah, I think it was before you came. And people, if you are in the stream, you must say hello to us as well and tell us what you think of this game. And as we expected, quite quickly, the white player does castle. I think he thinks that probably there's no reason to play around, get the useful moves in before going on the offensive.
I so badly just want to push something. I want to tap the screen and move it.
You really want to push just F5. Let's see what would happen if he plays F5 right now. It will be.
There's millions of possibilities, yet we cannot decide on one.
Yes. Oh, he does play the knight. He does prepare it as I expected it.
Who wants to bet me $10? Who wants to bet me $10?
Okay, let's just see. Wait. Push, takes. And as you say, that will open. And then black is the one attacking on the king's side.
Oh, chat. Well, I hope that white wins because he's my teammate.
Yes, David. Well, I'm glad you guys. David, you guys, you must definitely support your team. At this stage, it is a very, very, very double-sided match. This can go any one of three results. This is not this result is not clear. And we are seeing
Okay.
what we are looking at, and we think that fireworks are coming. The only thing that I
I'm
want to
supporting
make,
black.
are you supporting black? Okay, then I'm going to support white. How about that? Okay, you support,
I just want to push F5.
but what I want to say, but if things get hectic on both sides of a board, the thing that we must remember is that these two bishops are much more involved in both sides of the board, whereas the knights are not. They are only involved that this knight, that's this knight. Let me make it red,
Only 5
and that
minutes.
one is involved on these cliffs. Can you see that the knights are much more towards the closer, whereas the bishops are, they spread their wings a lot further. So if there's fireworks on both sides of the board and the position gets open, these bishops may become affected. I
In 4
definitely
minutes,
think.
I shall leave.
Are you leaving in 4 minutes? That's a bit. No. Oh, is this somebody else? Megan,
Yeah?
are you talking? You say in 4 minutes you shall leave. Is that you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, you actually still have 10 minutes before you're allowed to leave. you,
Daddy, it's
you,
almost been on for an hour.
I know. But you,
And
okay.
in
But
4 minutes, will be in 1 hour.
okay, so you did come in a bit late. Okay, so white just keeps on building. I would really think of playing c4 and just keep the pressure, keep the space. But now we're going to
I'll
see
try.
if
Now, what will black do? I say black should try and bring more.
I would think that black is possibly they're going to declare his intentions and open and either push c5 or f5. And then we're going to see if that's when things are going to
Oh,
get.
your chat moves. Your chat moves faster than mine.
Is it? Okay.
One of us. Look at the last comment on your side.
My comments are not updated like as fast as yours, Megan.
Your the ones in the game. Your
Oh, in
game
the
ones.
game. Oh, one of us thought ought to be wrong to attack on the king side, but who? Oh, I see what you mean. So yes, what the black player is saying that normally you attack on the side where you're the strongest, and you don't attack on the side where you're the weakest. And normally one of them will be stronger on the king side, and he's thinking, who is stronger in the king side? Is black stronger in the king side and should attack, or is white stronger in the king side and should attack? What do we think? I know you think
Black,
that black should.
black, black,
I
black,
know you
black.
black should attack on the king side. I'm actually not sure that you are wrong. I actually like this attack, although this square, the c5 square is very black's got a lot of control of c5. So black, white either wants to play c4 and c5 or wants to play f4 and f5. One or the other. Black either wants to play f5 or c5. This is a very important decision for black. If he decides to push the wrong pawn and go forward, he may just kill himself. The same can be said to white. If he tries an attack on the wrong side, he might be killing himself. But I think white has got a little bit more leeway because he's got more space and he's got the bishops. He's got a little bit more leeway. He can make a mistake and not get punished so much. Well, Megan, before you leave, there is one thing that you have to say to the chat. What is the one thing that you're going to have to say to the chat?
Don't
What must they do?
subscribe.
And they must, say they must subscribe to our channel. Come every week and come and watch our show. And also don't forget to put the notifications on. Is that right?
Yeah, what about a like?
And
And we
they
hit the
must
1 hour mark.
And I thought we would hit the 1 hour mark now, and that's why I asked you, are you now going to leave us?
I'm sorry, but leave. Make sure
Okay,
you
but
place it 4 or whatever that square is.
F5. And then listen, yeah, but tonight you got off the hook and she left us. She got off the hook because we had another guest who was talking to us before and in her slot, and then she came in a bit late. Okay, so this is a big decision for Black. He has to decide where he wants to attack. I can't see a way. I can't see a way where he can maybe delay that decision any longer. Oh, and thank you, Megan. A bit of water, please. Thank you, Megan. Okay. Oh, I get served dinner while I'm streaming. A bit of salad and stuff on the Sunday evening. Excuse me while I eat. I hope I make you all very hungry. I don't know. I just feel, or I believe, if I was Black, I would be very scared, but I'll close my eyes and play F5. And if I was White, I would be less scared and I would play C4. But let's see if the players agree with us. I've got a feeling that Black is going to take quite a long. Let's see. Let's have some of the people in the chat tell us what they think Black will play here, and what Black should play here. Tell us your comments in the chat what you think they're supposed to play. And the Black player is in the comments telling us that he is in two minds, F5 or C5, and he does not know which one he wants to play. Life is full of difficult decisions. This is why we play chess. We learn. You must try and weigh up your options, see which one you want to play, and just go for it. I'm still waiting for people in the chat to tell me what they think. There are many people watching the game. Maybe some of them can come and discuss it in our chat and we can see what we want. I've got a feeling that as soon as this move is, the next 2-3 moves will be a bit slow because they are crucial and they will determine the whole flow of a game. And then the fireworks will come. I just want you to know that we are not using any engines in determining what we predict, what we suggest. We are using just our little grey matter here because that's how we believe you should be playing chess. And while we've got a bit of a lull, maybe I should tell you guys also about our channel and our stream. Oh, wait, here we go. C5, he does go for the less. Well, if you're going to make a mistake, C5 is not the worst mistake. F5, you expose your king. C5, you're not. So now, what is White to do? One thing now, C5 tells me that White should not play C4. Because if we play C4, then just take, and then you've got a double isolated pawn. So White cannot afford to play C4. The question now is, can White play G4 or F4? And maybe that is why he ended up deciding on C5. It is just simple. The move that makes White's life more difficult. Another thing that I only thought of now is H5, A4 for a move. Why not? Who says that we as White are not allowed to also attack on the queen side? Who says we are committed to attacking on the king side? Yeah. I see the white player is very worried about getting the bishop trapped. But I don't know if that is. Is he going to play something strange like? How do you stop these kind of plans? Do you really want to take? Actually, the more I look at it, the more dangerous c5 does look because of this bishop being trapped. Actually, c5 does come with immediate threats, but we don't. But we do not want to play c4. We do not really want to take. We take. Do we want to move our knight? Do we want to move our bishop? Yo, this is not easy. Not easy. If you're in the chat, let us know what you think you would do. I'm finding it hard to decide for myself. It would be fantastic if, for white, if you could open the B file. He does have a half open B file, but it's looking at granite. Everything is looking at granite. This position very much reminds me like of a close Sicilian. Only difference is this pawn is in the wrong place. That was actually a very good move. The more I look at it, the more difficult it is for me. I see David says now that he thinks he would have played f5. Now, that a few minutes ago he said f5. Well, David, that's what I was thinking as well. But I must say, the black player came up with played the second, the other alternative, door number 2, but it really puts some questions to what? I don't know. White is, do we really with white want to play g4? And if d5 we play knight there, so that we can answer with bishop e2. Do we really want to play g4? So he plays his knight out, but that may be so. But where is white going to play a pawn break? Where is this pawn break coming from? What files and ranks is he going to open? This is an enigma. I thought, so is white saying he wants to play for e5? So let's look at this: d5, f4, c4, bishop e2. The e pawn is hanging. So d5, pawn takes, f4, c4, bishop e2. Actually, that's starting to look like something. f5. That's actually starting to look like something for white. Every time one of the players make a move, we look and ideas start flowing. These guys are really coming up with some nice ideas in this game. Some creative play. This is a good match for a decider. I see David agrees with knight g3. Thank you, David. Yes. Well, I assume black will follow up now with e4. Surely black follows up with e4 now. Yes, I see. What does that do? That doesn't. Oh, he's still threatening c4, but I thought d5. Pushing c4, bishop here. Is he this? So you want to push c4 and then just go down with his pawns. I'm a much more classical orientated player. I'm always looking towards just clarity in the center, or at least an advantage in the center. White doesn't really need to worry about c4 right now. I think black's plan is very slow. I'm pushing f4 right now. Question is, can black answer it with e5? f5. I'm all on board for f4 right now. All on board. Maybe I'm a pawn pusher. Every move I play is a pawn push. An attack on the king's side. Does white want to? No, he can't play d5. D5 is not a good choice. So f4. The only question is now c4, bishop e2. White cannot, black cannot gang up fast enough against e4. So I think f4 seems to me to be the way to go. Black has played his hand. He says he's playing on the queen side, so let's play on the king side. Yeah. Bishop. Only other options are bishop g5. Bishop g5, knight g6, and h6 to come in. Maybe, not necessarily. Bishop g5, rook e8. I don't think bishop g5 does much for the whole situation here. Obviously, taking and pushing is bad. So, we know what they say. Capture like this, it's either forced, fantastic, or foolish. It's not forced, and it's not fantastic. So we don't want to do that. Bishop b5, knight f6. Okay, I see nothing which grabs my eye, would catch my attention other than f4. That's the only move I can think of which makes logical sense right here. And I don't think that, I don't see in any of the chats anybody suggesting anything else. So f4 must be. Well, as I was going to tell you guys while we had a bit of a think time, we are Team Ludo. We stream every Sunday evening. We stream this show, which is Crunch Time in 45. We are going to also try and start presenting training videos and what I mean by that is videos with students where we train them, as well as training videos where students can learn, which is geared specifically at weaker players. We are a chess academy, which is now 4 or 5 years running, and this now become digital. Any support, I'm not meaning financial, I mean support in the sense of being there and taking part is always very welcome. that is what we want. We want to see people taking part and supporting chess and improving chess, especially over young people. We believe in teaching life lessons by using chess. That's what we've been doing. So for the people watching the stream, come every Sunday evening, come watch Crunch Time in the 45. We'll always have at least one featured game where the game will have a direct or very close to direct impact on the match and maybe even the league, such as this game, where I think the winner of this game, in fact, knows when the top 4 or 5 in the league still going into the halfway mark, almost the halfway mark of the league. So it is a reasonably important game. And I can tell you that both these players are very well aware of that. Not like our previous guest who does not really care about the scores. These two players, I know them. They will know the score. They will care about it. They've both got quite a bit of trophies and stuff in the past, if I'm not mistaken. So it is important to them. And that is why we are seeing them taking the game serious and taking a bit of their time to think of these moves. But as I said, I see nothing other than f4 here. But it is a committal move. f4, d5, or f4, c4, bishop e2, d5, or f4, c4, bishop e2, b5. Right? This plan of black of pushing these pawns, this roller, I don't know. a3 seems to stop it, and black has no dark squared bishop. Because remember earlier on, he took on c3, much to our surprise. He took there, and it was unforced. And now these squares are. White has got quite a lot of control over them. And it's going to be very difficult to roll past them. Conversely, these squares, okay, maybe that one still, but this square specifically, white's control over it is not so, black's control over it is not so convincing. If white just pushes a push, it's not going to be so difficult to open up these lines towards the black king. He must just find the courage of his convictions in this crunch match to do so. And he decided not to go for it. He rather plays the rook on the half open file. He does not. Can we say it? Maybe he was not convinced of had any conviction that on the king's side. It is quite interesting in this match that neither side had the conviction of attacking on the king's side. Both wanted their king to be safe. And it is definitely the match situation. They know if my king is safe, it's so much more difficult for me to lose. And they are so afraid of losing, they don't want to take the risks. That's why black played c5 instead of f5. That's why white played rook b1 instead of f4. Nobody wants to push their f pawns. They are just too scared. But now, okay, the obvious move and the obvious question we have to ask ourselves, what is white's plan if this? Okay, the rook move does make this move slower, but black plays this, bishop goes back, d5. And then bishop here, pawns, and just keep on rolling these pawns. It's a ready-made plan for black. I think white just wants to and hopes to stop it here on the b4 square. It says, you're not getting past b4. Simply because I've got too much control over it. Maybe that is true. If black is worried about b4, Why does he not play a6, bishop here? Maybe, in fact, yeah, a6, b5, bishop here, b4. Just slowly going. White's not attacking. He's not doing anything. Why should white worry? Why should black be in any hurry if white is not in a hurry? I see the black player says black says he wanted to take on d4 and then play e5. I don't think that is the way to go. I think the plan of pushing these pawns might be just rolling them over. It's maybe just trying to make a pass pawn on the queen side is maybe just the way to go for black. White is not doing anything on the king side or in the center. And if you push these pawns, the one slow moving piece of white, that knight is very far from the action. White's not making action on the king side. White's not making any action here, and black makes action on this side, then this knight becomes a bit out of play. I mean, and then it's one nice clear day, b4 is happening. And if b4 happens, the pieces like that, I think only black can be better. Tell me in this chat what you think, if you agree with me, or whether you think if you disagree with me. And let's hear it in the chat. Who are you cheering for? We know David is definitely cheering on for white. Who else is cheering for? Who's cheering for black in the chat? Maybe we can get some people to give us some advice. I must say that I found a lot of the decisions these players have made somewhat surprising, unusual, unexpected. But these decisions have been driven mostly by the desire not to lose. If black wants to play, I'm just if black's thinking of something like e5, trying to just dislodge this pawn, and maybe hoping to get the knight here. What happens if black plays e5 right now? That's maybe e5 right now. White is not obliged to take. White is not obliged. The problem also is when this c5 does open up, I don't think black is ever going to get to this pawn. Maybe a weak pawn, but I don't know how he's going to get to it. Maybe black should build up a bit first. Try and get white to do something about this tension. Yes, but Black agrees with me and he plays his rook behind his queen. But why does he play that rook and not the F rook? Does he say that this rook is going to belong better on one of these squares? Is that what he's saying? But that only happens if white does take. And what he's saying by putting the rook there is he's not very interested in pushing and keeping the c-file closed. He says I'm very interested in pushing and taking. Ah, now I see what he wants. He wants to take queen c3. And white plays a piece towards the black king. He says he wants to attack the black king with pieces. This check, he can't take this. He says he's looking at maybe exchanging. I don't know if he's really planning to exchange these two pieces for that rook and pawn. Ah, but it doesn't work. Because there, or even there, it's check. The problem is he can interpose with a knight. So this takes here. Even the weaker move, king e8, queen check, he can interpose with a knight. So if he's really planning on sacrificing on g7, he should push the pawn first. Or he should distract one of his knights. I remember earlier we said that the knights are slower moving pieces and they can't go from one side of the board to the other. But those two black knights are not too shabby. They are doing a bit of a job there. I don't even think g6 is necessary. Maybe black can just go on with his plan. Oh wait, does he want this? Then e5, but then things are starting now. It's complicated now. Black has to consider quite a few options. What happens if we take? If he takes with a pawn, queen c3, saying c file is open and we're exchanging queens, and now a c5 square is available for my knight. There won't be double pawns anymore, but black will have control over open roads, like I would say. If he takes with a bishop, this will be attacked. He can close it up again, win a pawn. Wait a minute, black takes, queen c3. What does white play? Is that a real threat? We end up with a backward pawn on the open file. It might be supported by a bishop, but it's still a backward pawn on the open file. I think black can take us. I actually like black's position in that situation. Pawn takes, queen c3. I'm starting to like black. Pawn takes, bishop can't take because it loses a pawn. Pawn takes, and the control over the c file becomes an aspect in this game which should be contemplated. Yeah, I think pawn takes, queen c3, and I'm starting to like black. I don't think there's a clear advantage because of the two bishops. White might even still be slight. My computers might still like the white, but I like black. It's easier to play for black now. earlier on we said we liked white because it was so easy to play for white, but then he didn't take his chance to attack on the king side for a pawn break. Black went for a pawn break on the queen side, and now he has it. It is there. Maybe I should ask the people to chat. I'm just asking the people in the chat to come and join. To come and join us in the stream and give us their opinion. I'm sorry that you guys have to join via YouTube. My stream, I am a streamer here at Larches. It was active, it was working, but for some reason it stopped. It stopped advertising the stream. And I see he has taken, as we expected. Okay, obviously bishop takes just loses a pawn after e5, bishop moves and queen takes, so he has to play with pawn takes. We've looked at, well, knight takes is just too slow. It's simply the bishop is hanging with an attack on queen. So now the question is, does black just want to play queen c3, exchange queens, say you've got no attack on the queen side, on the king side, I have control over this half open file where you've got a backward pawn. I'm going to just stack up here. Boom, 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 and say, what do you have? What are you going to do about this? So that's what I'm thinking. Exchanging queens, even if it's the two bishops, I think it's to black's advantage. Black could get a knight. A nice secure knight on this square. That would be fantastic, attacking over. That's going to be kind of difficult. I see one person in the chat says doesn't like queen c3 because of queen f2. What about e5? e5, if it takes knight, I really think that black must, well, if it's not going to play queen c3, then one of these pushes should be now on the agenda. Which one do we think is better? Oh, white is considering sacking. Yeah, you see, that is exactly why I am trying to exchange queens, because the idea of bishop h6 is attacking with the piece attack against the black king is what white is trying to aim for. So if we can stop that, so maybe also e5, blocking in this pawn, blocking that bishop in, effectively will stop one piece to enter into the attack. So maybe e5, if not queen c3, then e5. Just blocking in that white square bishop. Yeah, I see the people agree that they're not keen on queen c3. So maybe then we should look at e5. Reason why I like queen c3. Let's just look at queen c3, queen f2, knight c3, queen g4, Night before, bishop h6. You see, this is, oh, we did, but yeah, I see. White also thinks queen c3 and will go, or does he play queen f2 there? But let's just look at it. Queen c3, queen f2. Oh, we can't play the knight here and there. This knight can't be both places. So that's what we said earlier about knights not being able to be on two places at once. So that brings us back to e5. Oh, queen c3, queen f2, knight c3, queen pawn push. What does he do? What does he do? Okay, so black has. What's going on with black's time? We have not been talking about black's time. Black is under a minute. White has got 20 minutes time. This is a time. It's going to become a time scramble. What is black doing with his time? He does play queen c3. Black is really now, it's already in time pressure, where white has got the luxury of. There are standard games where we start with less time than what white has here. So it's a standard game versus a bullet game. Let's just see. And black does not play bullet. White has played a bit of bullet. I think, having regard to the clock, queen f2 must be yes, because of a clock. If nothing else, the clock. The clock is going to make all the difference here. So we were thinking knight here, the g6. The knight here, and white, black is attacking here, and white is attacking there. Of course, moves like e5 are still also in the line, in the mix, just blocking this bishop in. Yes, this is exactly what white says. He's keeping the queens on because of the time situation. Actually, I was just thinking now, if queen c6, does white just sack? Take, check, the bishop there, not fast enough. Not fast enough. And speaking of not fast enough, so is black. He's not fast enough and he does play e5, just holding the bishop. Because I was going to say, maybe some getting that bishop into the game might become an issue. Anything that white does with this pawn gives this square potentially for the black knight. But does he need to do something right now? There. Oh, but now the knight is covering here. And the knight can come back here. Pressure is now serious. You know, maybe not a bad idea just to play rook and says to him, find a move. Find a move. We don't mind this so much here. The reason why I've changed my mind and now studying rooting for white is all about the clock. It's just the clock. Maybe we should talk about what we should do. About when you have a nice lead in time. The worst thing that you can do is start playing fast and keeping track with your opponent. The best thing you can do in a situation like this is you calculate a few forced moves, like two or three forced moves. Something like that. It's forced moves, and then you play 2 or 3 fast moves, and then you sit back again and you calculate a few forced moves. That is the way to ensure that your opponent has the maximum pressure on the clock. Or maybe calculate these forced moves immediately, and then play 2 or 3 of them in a row. I would definitely look at this, followed by this, and then 1 or 2 more forced moves, and just keep doing that. This is the first move I'm looking at. Where does the queen go? He's got 2 squares. And then another forced move here. Another forced move here. There's 3 forced moves. And he has only 1 minute plus the increment of about 45. He's literally got to live on increment now. If you play 3 or 4 fast moves and then wait, calculate deep, 3 or 4 fast moves, that's the most difficult. He does not get that breather in between to get him to survive. Just keep asking questions. And right now, this move is one. 3 is an immediate question, no easy answer. Which one of those 3 moves do you play? No easy answer. We're not so concerned about this pawn. I think white is probably calculating this. Problem is these 2 knights do such an excellent job of defending. The queen can take here. The moment you give him a chance, he can take you off check. That is why I think play this move first. Give him something to think about. That in his time trouble, it's not a bad move. At worst, it loses this pawn. That's not going to decide this game. The a2 pawn is not deciding this game. What will be decided is where white can get an attack or whether black can simplify. As long as the queen's on the board, black is in trouble, and it's called time trouble. So I'm going for this. And now he's looking at people in the chat looking at taking on c. Oh, no, wait. D takes c5, but you can't play d takes c5. There's nothing on c5. Probably e5. What are they in the chat? They're looking at knight g6, bishop h6, check later. Okay, I see the black player is almost committed himself to knight g6 for the next move. d5. Still no. I don't know what the chat is talking about. They're talking about d takes c5, but there is no pawn on c5. It can only be e5, but then d takes c5, and then they say bishop d4. How can that be good for white if pawn can take it? Yes, here I come and they agree that that line does not work. I don't understand why it. Right, but the white player is now taking a lot of time making. Maybe he's taking a little bit too much time. I understand we said earlier that you want to give him, you want to think on usual time when you've got the time advantage, but maybe he's overdoing that. At least play 2 or 3 difficult moves to find an answer to. Yeah, the problem for and that, one problem for white is I would like that knight on h5 round to have been on f5. I cannot see where I don't see where white is where black is going to. Where white, yeah. Rook b3, make him think. After he moves, you look what you want to do. Maybe bishop b5 attack. Bishop b5 attacking the knight. Rook b3, and then bishop b5, or bishop b5, queen c2, rook c2. He doesn't have time to attack on c2. Bishop b5 also looks like a move. Bishop b5, rook c7, rook b3. Yeah, finally he does play queen g3, and I think black is going to just blitz out knight g6. I would have waited for something like that. If you're going to play the obvious move, yeah, you shouldn't take 5 minutes and then play the obvious move. And then, like having said that he's going to play knight g6, he almost immediately takes and runs to under 10 seconds. He is officially 10 seconds. Is he must, yes. On he had 5 seconds left. He's living on increment, ladies and gentlemen. He is living on increment. Are we playing? Just play rook, play bishop, and then he plays knight. That's fine with us. Bishop b5, knight f6, knight takes, pawn takes, h4, bishop h6, followed by h4. Now you can't play bishop h6. You must first play rook b3. You must just find a good move. One good move. And every move he stops to think. As I said, I would think a few forced moves, play 2 or 3 moves, stop, play 2 or 3 moves, stop. Just break a rhythm. Don't get that rhythm. He plays d5. Okay. Yes. Make him think. That definitely makes you think because it's. In fact, what does he play? What does he play? Okay, just moves king. I'm still playing h4. Tell him, what are you going to do? h4, what are you going to do? Let Harry run. But maybe we're a bit too excited and too much of a hurry. Can black afford to play knight here? Can black afford that? Black can afford knight c5. Then maybe, and he can get his clock up a bit. Get a few quick moves in which knight c5 is one, maybe black can get back into the game. The thing now is, things are clear that if you play rook b3, queen probably wants to drop back to c7 to give lateral defense to these pawns. Knight c5 is coming. Now a d5 has been played. The c5 squares become available for the knight. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see. h4, knight c5. We can take, push. King moves, takes. That pawn takes. I don't know. Why might they have some of initiative? May have the time. Difficult to break through. I want to break through, but I find it difficult to see anything. What have we achieved? What have we achieved? Now he plays a rook b3. I thought he would have played it earlier. Because now queen c7 is a lot more obvious than what it was. Yes, and played immediately. Queen c7 a lot more obvious than what it was. Now he knows that he needs to defend laterally. And immediately now, so now he did what I said. He thought and then played two fast, quick moves. And f4, I must say, is quite a nice move. And that's a very good move he found there, because now the rook can lift. The rook can lift. Is knight c5. Does knight c5 bring some relief? I mean, knight c5 allows the queen to defend laterally, attacks the rook and the bishop. Well, the bishop not so much, but the rook. And if he takes with this bishop, we say thank you very much. We take back with check and come back and still attack. So I think the move order was slightly wrong way around. But white is in the attack. And the time is running. Time is running. It's excited. Oh wow, knight f6. Why not knight c5? That just doesn't look right. Takes. The white queen no longer is going to be able to defend, especially this push. Takes, push. Where does the knight go? Goes there. Whoop. Or does he just play? Takes. Okay, takes there. Okay. The queen no longer takes. Oh, the queen can come like this. Oh, but if you push the pawn, the black knight comes to the e7 square, stopping the black queen going to e7, f8. Oh, but he can still go to d8 and f8. Yes, I think. Oh, but why? Oh, but this is black's in trouble. Black is in trouble. Knight he's losing a pawn. He's definitely losing a pawn right now. At least. Black is in big, big trouble here. Yes, he has to play there, but now Queen H4, attacking F6. The time pressure has paid. Those 2-3 moves he played very fast in a row. Those 2-3 moves he played very quickly in a row has paid the dividends. How does Black defend? He cannot defend F6. Oh wait. But if he plays bishop here first, threatening mate, then the rook has to stop. Then Queen H4, threatening the pawn. Because if you play Queen H4 immediately, the knight can stop and hold both. So to be accurate, you play bishop H6 immediately, threatening mate. The only way to stop it is rook E8, but now the rook is on the G8 square. So Queen H4 threatening the pawn, and that's over. So he needs to be a little bit accurate. He plays the other way around. But now Black can play knight G8, and knights are good defenders. Yeah, so I think just the other way around would have been so much better. This can slightly easier to defend because the knight also even holds that square, and if it yes, okay, the chat says that the rook lift also wins. I see. Even the rook lift wins. Everything just wins here. It's so easy. Even I could win from here. And Black goes for a kind of sacrifice. Oh, I see. Counterattack. Whatever counterattack he's trying for. But White's got enough time to calculate everything. We take on d5, we take on f6 with check, and we put the rook up. Oh no, and we bring the bishop out. There we go. So his pawn takes. And now we're threatening on f6 check again, and then bishop h6 with the mate. In fact, and no matter how he takes back, we're going to go queen f. Yes, queen f takes f6 check is coming. Oh, he defends that. Can you defend everything? What about this plan? The plan of rook h3, rook f3, rook h3, and GG. How does he defend that? Okay, let's see. Look here. Look there. There. Look there. Shoo. Yeah, but look here. Look G8. Look h3. rook g7, bishop h6. If rook goes back to g8, bishop f8. So even that wins. Rook f3, rook h6. Bishop takes is useless because we're attacking h7. So rook f3 is just game over. I think this game is all over. And white has won. So David, I think you're going to get your wish. Your man is going to win. Congratulations. I do not see black in time trouble, in a losing position, coming back from this. Rook f3 is there, and rook f3 has been played. I think this is GG. Like we said, he's going after f7, h7. If black now plays rook g8, we're going to play rook h3, threatening mate. He defends. We play bishop here, threatening the rook. If he moves the rook, we play bishop f8. He can't take because of mate. He can't come back because of check, check. Oh, what does he lose there? What does he lose? He must lose a lot more than just the exchange there, and it's already a bishop. Okay, but that's too slow. Rook h7 and resign. Bishop takes d5, rook h7 and resign. We were looking at rook g8, rook here, rook. Yes, now it's just resign. It's forced mating one. Unstoppable. So after this game, I'm going to invite the winner for an interview and let's see what he says. Okay, so I'm going to just get ready to invite him because I think it is game over. Yes, and black acknowledges that, and he's going to probably resign any moment now. And then I will invite him. I don't know why he says he's dead, but I don't know why he does not resign yet. It isn't mating one. Okay, thanks, David. I see you. I see who you are. Okay, that's fantastic. If you guys got any questions for the winner, especially your teammates, if you want to give a shout out to him, you can do so as soon as he comes. I'm just waiting for the black player to resign, which I promise you it will be in the next 15 seconds. So or the game will be finished in the next 20 seconds. Yes. Oh, okay. And he did resign. And I'm inviting him. Let's give him a few seconds, see if he will come. And then we can come forward. If you have got any questions for him, just let me know. While we are waiting for him to come and join us, I see a lot of people are leaving the chat. Guys, this is a new channel. If you're new to this channel, please go and subscribe and like and put on the notifications. We will really appreciate it. We want to grow this channel. Yes, everybody's telling quickly running the engine. AI Control actually realizes it now that this was being streamed. I see there's only one blunder, a really, really good game by the winner. Smeerlin. Now he's from the Netherlands, so I name him Smeerlin. I'm waiting, I assume, and I think he will. He's Normally a very chattable guy, so I'm expecting him. Yes, he says he will come. He says he will come, and I'm going to send him the link now. But he's not like he agrees with me that most of us have a face for camera, so he is coming. So guys, just give him a few seconds to join us. He is going to join us any moment now. He says 3 minutes. Wait, let me just say. Okay. Okay, he says he just needs a cup of tea after that game. He needs a cup of tea before joining us. I will tell him, David, that he played brilliantly. I can see that he really did play brilliantly, and his team is really happy for him. I think, let's just see what the one. Okay, D5. Let's see what the computer did like there. Let's see what the computer did like. If a computer liked F4 immediately, yeah, D5 did clarify that. What did the computer think of my? He likes my rook B3 less. But the point is that the best move is Queen A5, and then D5. No, okay. Then your F4 pushes much more. Oh, it doesn't work. Shows you what I know. Okay. But guys, he's going to be here in any moment. As we said, I'm keeping an eye on the stream. There he comes. Let's add him to the stream. Let's see.
Hey,
hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well and very clear. Congratulations on what your teammates describes as a brilliancy.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And tell me, and that's not only just a brilliance, it's a brilliance under pressure, because you understand this is an important game for your team. It sets your team up for going to the top 2, top 3 teams in the league.
Yeah, I think we have at least a draw now.
Yes, you do have to. It all depends. On the last game, your opponent has got your opponent can draw and he will go through, and your team will go through. The other team will be in a must-win situation.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's very good. I must say that I've got quite a few questions for you, starting with the opening. Did you expect the Owens?
Not at all. I didn't even know this was called the Owens, actually. So yeah, I'm
called the Owens, I think. Yes.
I do know my
I
do know my opponent plays kind of like hyper modern stuff, and I feel like he makes up his opening like when he's sitting at the game. He doesn't prepare that much. I feel like I played him before when we were teammates. But I was expecting maybe something more like with D6. Like D6 on move 1, but that didn't happen. So yeah, I was after E6. I was expecting a French, of course, but then he surprised me with B6.
Tell me, last season when me and you were teammates, did you play him? I was in the impression I played him in the last season. Was it you?
Yeah, I think I played him. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't the impression that was me, but I remember playing him something. It probably wasn't alone with. So okay. So you say this did surprise him, and I think at some point in the game he also commented to the chat that he was considering F5, but he was unprepared, so he was not sure. So as you say, he was unprepared. So yeah, you were considering Queen G4 when we quickly had a look in the database and saw Queen G4 was very crazy, but F3 does perform better for white. Are you glad that you didn't go for Queen? Were you glad you didn't go for Queen G4?
Yeah, I really wanted to play that move, but yeah, I think just Knight F6, and then if I take on G7, Rook G8, yeah, I didn't see anything there.
Yeah.
But maybe you can show me the crazy lines. I'm kind of curious.
Okay, if I recall, well, I actually got the database, so I can just follow that. What we saw was this. This. And he does get the extra pawn, but as you can see, actually, the white. Yo, this is what we were looking at, and I was actually surprised that white still does so well, but there was a line which
I think I saw this exact line, but I would never evaluate this as +2 for white.
Exactly, that is what my feeling as well. When I looked at it, and I had a co-commentator at that stage, and I said to him, I mean, I know that the stats show that white, and I didn't know it was +2. We just saw the stats of the game. I actually thought there were more games, and I thought, sure, I'm surprised. I thought that black's doing okay here. And I said, I'm a pawn grabber. I would go for this for black. So, well, maybe maybe there's something for future reference.
Yeah, so I guess in that position, you castle queenside as white, and then it kind of looks better already, no? Like once you get the castling in, then the computer doesn't like it.
Yes. Yeah, I see. It's strange. I mean, it's one of those positions where then that depends on how long you let it run and what depth you go to. But I'm telling you that I'm liking black, and then we were discussing stuff like bishop g5 just spinning here. But then I said that something like black has some ways of dealing with the problems. I know the computer likes it, but I'm a pawn grabber. I would have gone for this for black. I don't think, but for white, I'll definitely play f3. So that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Tell me. There's another point in the game. Okay, we were all very surprised that he took so unprovoked on c3. Were you surprised?
I wasn't surprised, but I guess normally you wait for a3 or something.
Yes.
Before taking.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And I thought the play for white was just very easy, and you went for it. You didn't go for the crazy g4 lines. And this was an important point in the game. And I don't know what a computer evaluation is. I want to look at it. I thought, maybe you should start looking at putting something like f4. I see it doesn't seem to be picked up by the computer as a move. Oh, not yet. First knight. Obviously, we don't want to.
Yeah, I was looking at some f4 lines. At some moves, but I felt like it opened up his bishop. So.
You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But how did you think he was going to play something like e5?
I don't remember actually, but
I'll tell you, just also going back to, I had two co-commentators during the game. One of them was my daughter, and in this position, she was screaming, for black just to play f5. She said f5, 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 go all the way immediately. The computer.
Yeah, I was waiting for it as well, but he never played it.
Yeah, did you think that it was a good move, or did you say, please play it, please?
I was I wasn't afraid, but I felt like f5 was his only way to properly challenge the center. So
is it? I was thinking more towards the line of d5, and I see the computer actually agrees with me that d5 was the way to go for black. At least I got something right for a change. But I thought d5, just putting pressure here and holding the backward pawn. That's what I thought was his way to go.
But d5, e5, and then your bishops have great scope. And
let me just get it.
I would prefer this above
Yeah.
above f5, but I guess the computer doesn't agree with me, and agrees with you. But yeah.
Well, I must be right sometimes. I mean,
Yeah,
even
of
though
course.
you were my team captain last season, sometimes I must get some credit. I, I was shocked I realized about, I don't know where did I realize it, only about, let me see where, somewhere around here. That I looked up and it was these two moves, which he took actually very long, the last three moves, and then suddenly he's under 2 minutes. When did you realize that he's using too much time?
I actually already knew he would be using too much time because he also did it in our previous game. And I think, it's one of their issues in all their games. I was expecting it already.
So you knew you were playing Alexander Grishuk.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And what I was saying to the stream at that stage, now the computer likes it. Just now I looked at it and the computer didn't like it, and I was saying, just play rook b3. Tell him, think. You got no time, think. And earlier on when I looked at rook b3, the computer didn't like it. Now he does like it. But what I was saying to the stream in this stage is, when you've got a situation where you've got so much time, the idea is not to play fast. The idea is to think a few moves, play a few fast moves, then think a few moves, play a few fast moves. What was your strategy?
I wanted to do that, but I also felt like there was some kind of like killer blow here. So I invested some time to find the killer blow, and then of course if there would be like a great attack here already, then he wouldn't probably be able to to find a nice defense or something. So I was looking around, but in the end I settled for queen g3, which is okay, I guess.
Yes, no, it is fine. It is fine. I just thought it was forcing, giving the easy move to make, and then you invested quite a bit of time here, if I remember correctly. Let's just see. Yeah, no, it was with queen g3 where you actually invest, and then you played d5. And
okay,
I
I see your point. Yeah, I think my opponent also, like earlier in the game, he played some move to which I only had one reply, and then he spent another 3 minutes. So
yes,
and I understand that it's better to if there's only one reply, then think a few moves ahead and play it immediately. But I guess
that
I should work on that. That's a really good advice, actually.
it's a pleasure. I'm glad I could be of service. Yeah, because this is literally is where I would have thought, play this, and regard if he plays there, I've got something. I would take a few minutes, spend for some time, have a good reply for each one of those three, then play this move, and wherever he go, he's going to take some time to decide which one. And wherever he plays, I play my next reply and then think again. That's what I would have done. But in the end, your attack just was too forceful. The move I did think killed the game. Well, I like queen c7 for lateral defense, but the move I thought killed him was this. And I see the computer immediately just goes all the way up.
Yeah, I immediately saw that he would have doubled f-pawns, and after
Yes.
After f5, it's basically over.
Yeah, just take an f5. He has to go here. I at first thought that it's more accurate to play this, forcing this and taking that square away from the knight. But then somebody in the chat just pointed out to me that this plan is just also game over.
Yep.
We can see in the computer it is absolutely game over. Well, all the best. Your next game, your important now game, starts in 45 minutes for your team. I'm sure he's feeling much better now at knowing he only needs a draw.
Yeah, that's great
And
news for us.
yeah,
How
and
is
then
sorry, how is your
how's
team doing?
my team to this has been winning, but this week we were lucky, but we drew at 5-5. Most of the games were played yesterday. I couldn't watch much of it. I was involved here with our local chess, but we scraped through the draw. So we've got 2 wins and 1 draw. So,
Okay, that's
so you
that's not
guys,
too shabby.
yeah, you guys are lucky. We're still coming for you. Yeah, so then we'll see what we're going to do. Okay, thank you very much for coming on to the stream. Just before you leave, and to everybody and to yourself, I just want to say, well, the stream this is the stream for tonight. I'm going to end it, but before you guys go, please subscribe to the channel and press the notifications and the likes. So we're going to stream every week. We're starting now every week with Crunch Time in the 45, where we stream decisive games and where we have post-game interviews. Okay, thank you very much and good luck, and we'll see you and everybody then next week and in the show. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Stay
Bye.
well. Okay, bye. Okay, and as I said to everybody, thank you very much for attending and good luck for that game at 9. Actually, I think it's in 45 minutes, but I'm not going to stream that. It's going to end a bit too late for me. It's getting closer to my bedtime. I just want to check. I think I don't want to lie to anybody. I think it is at. As far as I know, it is in 45 minutes, but I may be wrong. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you very much, David. Guys, thank you very much. And then I'll see if you guys don't catch any of my other videos, I shall see you guys next week. Goodbye.